Boston Celtics defeat the Golden State Warriors 92-88. It was one hell of a game. The Boston Celtics came back from a 17-point deficit. The Golden State Warriors just simply did not have enough in the tank. You saw what it took them to get the 17-point lead. At the end of the day, at the end of the game, they didn't use it. It was basically kind of quick hitters with the threes. And the people that they didn't want taking threes, a la Draymond Green, is the guy that got the open looks. When you look at the entirety of the game, it was basically a defensive game. Both the Celtics shot 32% from the field, and the Golden State Warriors shot 40% from the field. The Warriors shot 31% from three, and the Celtics shot 21% from three. Kyrie Irving came out at the end, and he made a bunch of plays down the stretch, which you got to give Kyrie a ton of credit for putting pressure on the Golden State defense. He got Klay Thompson in foul trouble. And when the Warriors took like an 88, I think it was an 88-85 lead, Kyrie Irving got a three-point play next time down the play. So that was very key and influential. Those free throws, I think he got 7 free throws down the stretch, which the Golden State Warriors hated. Like, they absolutely hated. Every time you saw that Kyrie Irving's going to the free throw line, they're like, why? Where's the foul? Where's the foul? And literally, when I watched those plays, I did not see any fouls on Kyrie. Maybe I saw one or two early in the third quarter, but Klay Thompson basically played him straight up, and Kyrie was just throwing himself to the floor. Everybody is now asking themselves, should we take Boston seriously? They won like 14 straight. Is this a serious team? It's just like, they're in the NBA. They were number one in the Eastern Conference last year. Why aren't you taking them seriously this year? If last year you took them seriously, why aren't you taking them seriously this year? They have what seems to be better players. They have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Much respect to Jaylen Brown for playing after his friend passed away. He had 22 big points playing against Kevin Durant, playing great defense, spurring them on in that third quarter run. Why wouldn't you take this team seriously? Al Horford, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, a solid bench that could play defense. Only reason you wouldn't take them seriously if you thought that the Gordon Hayward injury would hinder them from playing this well. And they've been playing great defense, number one ranked defense. They held Golden State to 88 points. Golden State has never been held to such low. 40% from the field, 31% from three. Like, this is rare. Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, 8 for 32 from the field. So when are you going to stop thinking like this is like a quick fad, or this is like, this team is not to be taken seriously? When are people going to start using common sense and see what they see on the floor? Like, okay, these guys are balling, they're playing well, and they can lock you up. They played against the number one ranked defense, the number one ranked offense. Because think about this, Golden State Warriors, on average, throughout the season, they shoot 52% from the field, on average. So basically, if you're going to beat them, you got to lock them up. And this is one of the first games where I've seen the team able to really impose their will and lock them up since like the 2015 finals, when Cleveland got really physical. No, I'll say 2016 finals. But part of that was due to the refereeing of that whole finals in 2016, where they let Cleveland get away with murder, playing football basically. Mucked everything up and turned it into football. So that was the only time I've ever seen a team able to lock down the Warriors. Celtics locked down the Warriors. They don't let Warriors get out in the transition. It was really like a old school game from the 90s. You're watching the Knicks and the Bulls, or the Knicks and the Heat, or the Bulls and the Heat, or Pistons Bulls. It was just straight defense, tenacity, and grit, and the Boston Celtics went out. So when people are like, should you take this team seriously? Can they beat Cleveland? I don't know if that's yet to be seen, because we still have to wait for Isaiah Thomas to come back. But if the Boston Celtics continue to gel, and they have the number one ranked offense throughout the season, they can give Cleveland problems, because Cleveland has shown a propensity to fold against teams that can take away their second and third options. Because the number one option is LeBron. Number two option is going to be who? Isaiah Thomas. So that's the thing. Like, with Cleveland, can they figure out who's going to be their number two option consistently? Because sometimes it's Kyle Korver. If the Celtics can take away those options and just essentially force LeBron James to go ham for 50, 60 points every single game, Cleveland might be in trouble because that's not where LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers' strong suit is. Cleveland Cavaliers are strong when LeBron James is able to facilitate all the way around and basically kind of take over towards the end of the game. If you are forcing him to score a lot, handle the ball a lot, and keep turnovers down, you're in a world for trouble if you're Cleveland. So Celtics have the versatility, they have the players, they have the bodies, and they have the offensive player, Kyrie Irving, to carry them offensively, to get to the line many times. So when the Celtics beat Golden State Warriors, it was basically like a perfect storm. Like, they had great defense and they were getting to the line, and the Warriors couldn't figure it out. Stephen Curry was in foul trouble, which essentially is one of the Achilles heels of the Golden State Warriors. If you get Stephen Curry into foul trouble, you're going to hurt everything else that they do, because Stephen Curry is such a huge cog in how the Golden State Warriors play. He gives them space. He creates the pace. That being said, Celtics took that away. So now think about the Cleveland Cavaliers. If they play them in the future in the playoffs or whatever the case is, if the Celtics could replicate what they did to Golden State, which has way more options offensively, then we're looking at a good series there. We're looking at a 7-game series, or at least a 6. So, but anybody that's asking, should you take them seriously? It's like they won 14 in a row. Do you think they've done that by luck? They've been down in like 4 of those games. So it's time to respect the Celtics. Time to give Brad Stevens way more credit than he's used to, but also give the players credit for buying in. Give Jaylen Brown credit for playing after his friend, that horrific news about his friend, tragic news about his friend passing away. Give Jason Tatum credit for stepping up. Give Kyrie Irving credit for leaving his comfort zone in Cleveland, where he could have just coasted to a 4th straight final, 5th straight finals, 5 straight finals if he, continued on the path, and try something different. Try to achieve something, outside of LeBron James. People look at it as selfish, etc., but they went to 3 straight finals, won 1. That's considered a success. Anytime you win a championship, that's considered a success. Now on your horizon, you're like, what's new? But if you guys are still doubting that the Boston Celtics are a great team, look at last night. Look at the other games where they were down, double. They were down 20 the other night. I think it was to Denver or something. Came back and won it by 95-94. They're holding teams under 100 points, folks. This is real. This is real. And I know Cleveland has a lot of firepower, but if you have a bench that can play defense and you have your starting 5 that can play defense, that's not really unprecedented. I think the Pistons had that back when they beat the Lakers back in 07 or 05. No, it was like 05, yeah. But if you have 10 deep that can play a great defense, your other teams in the world are hurt. Now, granted, the Golden State Warriors didn't shoot the ball well. And if this was a 7-game series between the Celtics and the Warriors, you're going to go with the Warriors, because the Warriors did have a 17-point lead. And essentially what happened is they got loaded in jump shots, and what was working, they didn't go right back to it. So we're not taking away anything, we're not going overreacting or whatever, but the Celtics are for real. If they were able to do this against the Warriors, which is this is the most offensively potent team in the NBA, they will definitely do it to the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Washington Wizards or the Indiana Pacers. They're going to do it to teams in the East. So teams in the East, they better be aware, they better be prepared. A lot of people are making a lot of comments about fussing about Stephen Curry saying, he gets this is a team. The weather in Boston is nice in June, and he sees that this is a team that can be in the finals. Essentially, people are saying that he's being arrogant for saying that the Golden State Warriors are going to be in the finals or whatever the case is. The way I look at the Warriors is we've never seen a team like this before, ever. And it's sort of like the whole LeBron James situation. When LeBron James called himself the best player in the world, a lot of people took heat for that because Jordan never did it. But this is an unprecedented time where we have players that can say that they are the best player in the world. Like, we've never had this before, where guys come out and say, I'm the best. Kobe Bryant has never said he's been the best player in the world. Even though people are saying like Kobe's never been the best player in the league, like stop it. Just stop it. Point blank period. Oh, LeBron has always been. No, stop it. Because LeBron James was always the best player in the league. Where was he at when Kobe won those back-to-back championships? So let's stop all that talk. But this is an unprecedented time where LeBron James embraced himself as being the best player in the world. Remember when he was down in the Golden State Warriors? Now you have the Golden State Warriors embracing the fact that they went 73-9. They won championships 2 out of the 3 years. Stephen Curry is simply embracing the fact that you guys are telling them, hey, you guys are going to go to the finals. Or he's embracing the fact that he believes he can get to the finals. So all this, like, these guys are arrogant, this, that, and the third. It's like, dude, where have you been? The last 3 years, they won the most out of any NBA team, period. The most games. They won 2 out of 3 championships. They had back-to-back MVP with Stephen Curry. Defensive Player of the Year. Like, everything this team has done, the same thing like how we're lucky to watch LeBron James play, we're lucky to watch the Golden State Warriors play because we might not ever see anything like this ever again. Same thing with like LeBron James. So people kind of go overboard and, you know, like they get really, they feel slighted because they're like, no, Cleveland's still in the East. Cleveland should be the team to come out of the East, whatever. Like, dude, we're just talking about today, right now. If the game was supposed to be played right now, Celtics could be considered favorites, you know, to go to the NBA Finals. Today, right now. Things can change. Same thing with Golden State. Like, things can change. So, like, calm down, pump your brakes, everybody. But Celtics are for real, and let's go. Because I want to see teams challenge Cleveland. In the West, everybody challenges Golden State. Like, from the Spurs to the what is it called? The Houston Rockets, they challenge the Golden State Warriors. Teams challenge the Golden State Warriors. They're just not as good. But in the East, nobody really challenges the Cavs. So let's go. Let's go. I'm ready to see this. This is Vlad Breaks, Hoops Junction. Peace.